I tried.
Yes, please. Another cup? Oh, I couldn't.
Oh, let me get you another plate of cookies. There's nothing to them, no calories at all.
Well, I shouldn't. No, you shouldn't.
We have a whole big box in the kitchen.
Perhaps I could just have...
Just hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Carl wastes so much energy. He doesn't even realize about things like cookies.
Oh, I know. You're so right.
Excuse us. Third.
It isn't fair to take up so much of your time, especially at a time like this.
At a time like this?
I haven't seen Johnny today.
He's leading the current cleanup campaign.
Apparently, we're redecorating.
Well, naturally.
We'll be ready for this week next. But you don't have to move for a while.
Oh. That's all right. We understand perfectly.
Take time for another cup of coffee. Please do.
Getting ready for the wedding?
The wedding?
Alec, we have to go along. We couldn't resist stopping for one moment.
We've sure been seeing a lot of our congregation recently.
I expect you're all a little excited.
Not about a wedding, I hope, because there's nothing to it. Not for at least several years.
But the newspapers, everyone's talking about that picture.
The actual situation. The young people decided to go steady. Now, maybe it's a little early, but they're pretty sensible, and I don't see any reason to interfere. But that's it. They're going steady.
But I understand there was a ring.
Johnny's class ring, that's all.
So the newspapers are getting us all excited over nothing?
I'm sorry.
I think it's terrible of those newspaper people.
The way it kept going, I expected to read that they'd eloped to Paris, France.
Wouldn't that be exciting?
But now, you know the facts.
Yes. Well, thank you. It was kind of you. And for the coffee and cookies. One thing you can be sure about all this talk, we're on your side. Absolutely.
Our side?
You can count on us. Bye.
Goodbye.
Be seeing you.
No matter what anyone says,
It's nothing, dear.
do you suppose there's some kind of controversy there?
There's some gossip, that's all. The most natural thing in the world.
Carl, this wouldn't have any effect on the church board. It wouldn't keep them from asking back to them here, would it?
Nonsense.
I heard Miss Parkinson called a special meeting of the church board.
Good for her. There's lots to do. Darling, they couldn't pull me away from that pulpit with a gun. Besides, my church is not for months.
It's just, I know how you want to serve. I mean, it's your life. And I've talked to this huge family and all these special problems.
As I recall, Donnie did most of the talking. He just kept wanting one more to play with.
That's true. Donnie and I, we've made it pretty difficult.
A big family takes more time. Well, of course it does. And we've got some special problems, but we can't live our lives trying to avoid problems. We manage, and our congregation isn't slighted. Not one bit.
No, because you're never at rest. Because you're always...
Because I love it. I mean, this congregation is the most wonderful.
No, don't start.
And when I watch our children, playing, squabbling, Donnie, Timmy, Alex, Laura, all of them. Do you remember the song about the happy man?
Which song?
As arrows are in the hands of a warrior, so are children to a man in his youth. Happy is the man who has a quiver full of them.
Carl,
Daddy, Mom, what takes a lot of chewing gum out of a shag rug?
a shag rug. You'd better try some ammonia.
One thing. Scissors.
Scissors? Oh, of course, scissors. You're so smart, Daddy.
And I've got my quiver full.
Flattery, that's all you want.
But dear, what really worries me?
Yes?
What happened to all those cookies?
You scared me.
Seriously though, I bought a whole big box. Don't tell me little Gregory got into the playpen.
No, it's your beloved congregation. They've cleaned us out of everything.
We've had a few visitors, but
Not a scrap left. The cupboard's bare. Completely.
that's impossible. It's almost time for lunch.
There's nothing
But you made that big cream sauce.
I was sure to still have some green salmon, but
Then we come to the time, this is what we've been saving for.
saving what?
That big, colorful can of rattlesnake.
Carl, dog. I'll go to the fire spree. I'll have everything from smog to bubonic plague, but I will not eat rattlesnake.
Such a fussy appetite.
Alex is spreading compost all over the garden. He has the front walk pretty well fertilized too.
Don't stop him. Our survival this winter may depend on Alex's popcorn.
We made a deal. He'll sweep up the front walk and I'll help him later with his chemistry set.
This time, help him make something different. No more ink.
The way I figure, we're supplied with ink for the next 12 years.
Well, I thought we'd get some luminous paint and glitter over our address out front. A thing like that adds a touch. I mean, sort of swanky, but someone coming up, they'll notice. They'll catch their eye.
Dan's already seen the place. Who else are you expecting?
Well, I've been looking at our house from the point of view of a stranger.
Oh, he's expecting a stranger.
What's the first thing they'll see?
Luminous paint?
Our front porch. That's where we make our first impression. I beat the dust out of the mat, sanded the railings, puttied the cracks, scrubbed and scrubbed. It's pretty spotless, and that'll be the first impression.
Whose?
Nan's parents.
Are they coming?
I don't know, but they're invited. Is that okay?
Of course, it's okay.
You have no idea when?
I told Nan to tell them anytime they can make it.
You're not letting this get too important, are you?
Well, I can't exactly keep charge of how important it gets. I know it's not supposed to mean anything till you're 20 or 25. Only it does, that's all.
Well, you've had a lot of crushes.
Sure, all the way from an English teacher who got married to a brat I used to shoot out with paper clips.
But this isn't a crush.
I think our families should just get to know each other.
Well, I hope they hold off till you get those swanky touches on our front porch.
You see, if they can just get to know us, maybe the young ones drive you crazy sometimes, but if they can just get to know us, really all
You're
of us.
worried about them?
I don't know, they're very nice and they treat me fine, but when we're talking, it's like there's some subject we're avoiding, like something we're talking around. When I leave there, I'm a nervous wreck.
Johnny,
I expect they're under strain too. The trouble is, they don't know what they're worried about.
Which is the worst kind of worry.
That is why I have to get them down here. I have to get out in the open. They need a chance to see what they're thinking just isn't worth thinking about.
you get along so well with Nan. I dare say we'll manage with your parents.
That's what I say. Why shouldn't we?
We'll have a lunch. Or a dinner. We'll arrange something special.
Could we?
She'll get in a big supply of salmon.
For an oil wildcatter from Texas, he'll want a steak. And cooked to a cinder. And I'll do some baking. Biscuits, apple pie.
Gosh, Mom, you don't think I'm beginning to be too much trouble than I'm worth?
Don't stop her now.
Your son. And this is important to you.
It just seems like I'm causing a lot of difficulty for everyone.
Last I heard, it was all hot biscuits and apple pie.
Mrs. Pickles is coming this way.
Laura, you shouldn't call her Mrs. Pickles.
Mrs. Parkinson is coming this way. I was sitting in an upstairs window and I saw her.
I heard she called a special meeting of the church board. It wouldn't have to do with anything, on my account, would it?
Son, they have much more important things to worry about.
You can always tell when she's in a stew. She knocks.